Ursula Morgan, Chairman of your United Power Board.
And I'm Bryant, Robbins, Chief Operating Officer, and I was your acting CEO in 2020.
2020 was an interesting year for our cooperative. Probably the biggest challenge for us, like most businesses, was the health emergency caused by COVID-19.
That's right, Ursula. As an essential business, we had to continue our operations. Think about it. With everyone working and learning from home, having reliable electric service was important to all of our members. Our line crews and the employees who support those crews, like our mechanics, warehouse employees, still had to report to work like usual. However, we closed our offices, asked most of our office staff to work remotely in March. This helped reduce the risk to the employees that had to report to the buildings to do their jobs. We even moved our annual meeting to a virtual format in 2020 so that we could complete our director elections and have our members participate in the annual meeting. What didn't change was our commitment to providing the best possible service to our members. We were still able to answer the phones, set up new service, help members with questions about their accounts, and process payments. We safely restored power during outages, we kept building new lines and substations, and we continued planned maintenance on the electric system. Not only that, but United Power added 4,200 meters in 2020, which is one of the largest amount of meters in 1 year in the history of this company.
While our staff was keeping our cooperative running as smoothly as possible, the board concentrated on ways to help our members who were struggling due to COVID. We were one of the first utilities in the state to announce a moratorium on disconnects for members behind on their electric bill. We did this prior to the state mandating a stop to disconnects for all utilities. We created and funded the Coop Cares program by using unclaimed capital credits. This program was designed to help members impacted by job loss or illness due to COVID. Members could apply and receive help paying their electric bills, and hundreds received help. Coop Cares distributed $300,000 in assistance in 2020. The program has been so successful that the board authorized an additional $250,000 in assistance for 2021. The board moved forward with the distribution of capital credits, giving every member their piece of the $5.5 million retirement. Members received their retirements in May rather than waiting until August. Some members received a credit on their electric account, and larger amounts are distributed by check. We knew timing was important to every one of our members, and getting this money back to our members as quickly as possible was very important.
While the Coop Cares program was providing assistance with electric bills, our Operation Roundup Foundation made a contribution in a different way. The Roundup Foundation provided large grants to food banks in the area. The foundation board granted $23,000 to food banks serving our territory. Even our employees got into the act, donating another $4,000 to the Food Bank of the Rockies. It was just another great example of how United Power is committed to the communities we serve.
Talking about our communities, it was a really challenging year for our towns and the cities that we serve, and the many nonprofit groups in our territory. Most community events and fundraisers had to be canceled or held in a virtual manner. I'm proud of how United Power continued to support organizations in our territory. Employees even provided an educational opportunity for students who were learning from home. For instance, one of our engineers provided an online tour of one of our substations for a high school class. While our annual youth tour and youth camp were canceled, we still distributed more than $19,000 in scholarships to college-bound students. These are just a few examples of how we continue to support the activities that our communities and our members value.
Well, one thing that 2020 brought to light was the real threat of wildfires. Last year, nearly 700,000 acres of land burned in Colorado wildfires. As a matter of fact, 3 of the largest fires in the state's history occurred in 2020. As an electric utility, it's vital that we work to reduce the risk of wildfires and have plans on how to restore power after a fire. United Power has had a fire mitigation plan in place since 2012, and in 2020, we continue to look for ways to strengthen that plan. United Power continues to identify areas where covered conductor can provide protection from wildfires. This covered conductor not only reduces fire risk, it can prevent outages from falling trees and other debris that get into the line. It also protects us in a lot of cases against wildlife and birds and anything that can get airborne and get into our power lines. So, yeah, you may not realize this, but most overhead wire you see when you drive up and down the roads, that's just bare conductor. It's just a metal that you see, and there is no covering on top of it. This covered conductor is just that. It's a very hard plastic type of cover that eliminates or greatly mitigates when contact is made any potential for a fire or even an outage in some cases. We installed an additional 20 miles of covered conductor in our mountain territory in 2020, and all new construction that's overhead is also getting this new covered conductor installed. Recently, we added a new position that coordinates vegetation management. This new position helps us monitor and coordinate areas where vegetation may pose a fire risk that would affect both our facilities and the communities that we serve.
It is wonderful to see how hard our staff is working to improve reliability, assure safety for our crews and our members, and how we continue to support our communities. However, these are not the only ways we are looking out for United Power members. As a board, we continue our effort to consider other, less expensive sources of power. United Power has requested that our wholesale power supplier, Tri-State Generation and Transmission, the co-op we buy our power from, work with us so we can evaluate our options for wholesale power. Knowing this cost will allow us to consider other less expensive options for wholesale power. Bryant sent a letter to our members in last fall's September newsletter outlining details about this situation. The letter talks about the legal efforts we've undertaken to try to get a fair, just, and reasonable buyout number from our power supplier. It is important that we actively work to reduce this cost since power is our single largest expense. Your board believes our members deserve power that is not only affordable, but cleaner. For example, we are already a leader in innovative renewable energy, such as our solar gardens, solar farms, gas energy projects, and our battery storage. These projects driven by what is financially and environmentally best for our members. Being able to consider other sources of power is just another step to build on our commitment to you, our members. Be assured that we will continue to communicate updates about the situation as they develop. Just know that we are working hard to bring you reliable power at the lowest cost possible.
Well, I just wanted to mention one other impact COVID has had. Last year we told you we were going to hold an open house at our new Carbon Valley Service Center. That's our new facility that's located in our northwest area of our service territory, up along Interstate 25 in the Firestone-Frederick area. While we've been operating out of there for quite some time, we haven't been able to hold a public event. I want everyone to know that we still intend to have some type of member event when we can. Just keep your eye on our website and our newsletter, and we'll be sure to get the message out when we can host a larger event. And hopefully we can also celebrate the fact that we've passed 100,000 meters this year, and which is a huge accomplishment in the electric cooperative world. There's 1,000 co-ops in the United States, and that would put us in the very top 2 or 3% as far as number of meters, and we're very excited about that. That wraps up a challenging year. Between remote work and ongoing efforts to bring you reliable and affordable power, we look very much forward to all the challenges that 2021 will bring and our efforts to meet your needs as our members. Your cooperative continues to put you, our member, at the center of our efforts.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and supporting your employees during this past year. I guess that wraps up our CEO Chairman report. Thank you again.